So this is session 6 of God's Awesome Plan, and today I'm looking at the story of the wise men. Matthew tells us that some men who studied the stars in a country to the east of Palestine came to Jerusalem looking for the new king who had been born. They said they'd seen his star and they'd seen it rising, and so they'd come to pay homage. Now we like to picture the three wise men, and sometimes we call them kings. There's nowhere that says there were three. We just presume that because there were three gifts. They weren't kings. They were probably just intellectuals of their time, and they studied the stars. Why did they think that an unusual star would mean a new king born in Jerusalem? Now, we mentioned in a previous series that after the Babylonian and Persian empires had collapsed, the people were disillusioned about wealth and power. They were looking for something else. And an idea grew up that there would be a Messiah-type figure who would come from the area of Palestine. And so God let their thinking develop in that way so that they would be prepared for the coming of Jesus. Now, it's fairly natural for people who studied the stars to look for meaning and unusual happenings in the sky. When Julius Caesar died, a large nova appeared over his funeral pyre, and the people saw this as a sign that he'd gone to join the gods. The belief that there would come a mighty ruler from Judea is actually written up in two Roman historians, Tacitus and Suetonius. It's also written up in the Jewish historian Josephus. We don't know the exact date of Jesus' birth, but in 4 BC there are records that Jupiter and Saturn coming together to make a very bright star, and it was seen in the area that astrologers call Pisces. And Pisces was regarded as marking the end of the sun's old course and the beginning of the new. Jupiter was the royal star. Saturn had long been the symbol of Israel. And so, if this is what arrested their attention, we can see how they would interpret this. A new king was to be born in Israel. So they set out to find him and pay homage. Natural place to go for a new king is the palace. And so they went to Jerusalem and to the palace. We like to put them in the stable with the shepherds, but we also like to say they followed a star from the east all the way to Jerusalem. The Bible doesn't say that at all. They went to the palace to ask about this new king, and that threw Herod into an absolute fury. And he said, well, when did you see the star appear? And when they told him, and when they didn't come back to him and to tell him where the baby was, he ordered every child under 2, every boy child under 2 to be killed. So obviously it had been 2 years since the star had appeared. They didn't follow it across. It says, when they left the palace, the star which they had seen in the east reappeared, and they were overjoyed. And that's what led them to where Jesus was, but it wasn't the stable, it was a house, and it was just Mary and Jesus. God wanted the intelligentsia from the east to know of Jesus' birth. They were just as important as the Jewish people. God wanted this message for all people. He took what they knew about the possibility of a king arising from Judea, and he used what they would understand to deliver his message. Salvation is for all people.